when you find a contour, so the contour is the outside of an object, right? So if you're just drawing this. And this whole thing with line drawing is fun, is like, if lines don't exist in, like, there's no line between my head and what's around me, right? The line is the grammar, is the syntax, is the language of drawing. Like, it's a translation of space into lines, right? They're not really out here.
Right.
So within that, when you go to traverse an object, like he did here, the Stephen Korn drawing, which is, let's see, it's 17 by 13. So it's kind of got some nice size to it, a little charcoal figure, really cool cropping. And you see these negative shapes, but when he gets to her watch or whatever this is, he kind of just like cuts in. Does anyone see this? It's far away. But that's kind of like, he's a great example for kind of seeing how to draw. Like, this is a really pretty little, I think that's gouache and acrylic, charcoal, gouache and ink. But he's really has some great kind of negative shapes and drawn lines. Let's see if I can find something else that I wanted to show you guys. I should have marked the pages. But these are some, I've shown these slides before. Maybe I didn't show you guys this one with the tomato. But I kind of wanted to more look at this. So like, this seems kind of awkward, but you can see him looking like just that particular person's calf. He's just kind of tracing these edges almost blindly.
Yeah, it looks like he was kind of doing what we were doing, like looking a little and then what
Yeah.
we were doing.
Yeah, I think he's doing a lot of looking, as much as on his page as what he's looking at, and that's kind of the takeaway. What do you guys think about these drawings when you look at them?
I like how they don't, that they run off the page.
They're cropped in this way. It's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And that she's kind of see-through, like one leg's crossing over the
That's
other.
true. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's just the process of maybe he painted her a couple times as she was moving around. He's keeping all this process in. This is kind of a fun thing to do if you want to bring painting to drawing. Like, he's drawing with charcoal and then painting white paint into it. That's a fun thing to do. This is kind of what we were doing before in other classes where he's erasing away to get the highlights. Let me find one more drawing because he's so fun to look
How
at.
do you erase the charcoal? Do you have to have a special pen?
Same thing. Well, yeah, there's like a kneaded eraser or the white plastic eraser, but not much different. Yeah. Let me find one more drawing to look at. These are his big abstractions. So he's interesting in that he's, like, I have students that want to make abstract paintings. He's making, I think sometimes he's making them contemporaneously. Like, he's making them at the same time. He's making figure drawings and abstract drawings. So that's a fun thing to think about. I'll just leave it there. Okay. Richard Diebenkorn, Bay Area. I love that book.
He's cool.
He's really cool. Okay, so the next thing I'm excited about today. So make 4 little thumbnails on your canvas. Oh, I love that sound. These are gonna be really small. Yours will be a little bit bigger, which is nice. So just, one thing I really want to drive home, if you haven't drawn for a while, there's light and there's dark, right? And so playing with that in the early stages, maybe kind of be very light. And then as you kind of figure out what it is you're drawing, you can darken it up. That way you're kind of like building in mistakes. So I'm just kind of lightly putting these rectangles on because they're going to change a little bit. So I have my 4 rectangles. The top 2 we're going to do with just a dark and a white. And the bottom 2 you can choose any colors you want. So what I like to do when I'm sketching is, I just made a little center dot. It's super, what do you say, unconscious for me. And then I just kind of lightly, just to kind of like get to know. Like, I don't know if you ever played a sport where you walk the whole field for rocks or something before you play. I'm just kind of like getting to know my page. And then I'm gonna look at my still life. And I just want, for today, you're just trying to get the proportions right of this thing. So it can be kind of, it doesn't have to be that kind of like, that good. Just get the proportions on the first, this is the first drawing. And just kind of, we're not in blind drawing mode anymore, right? It's kind of ruthless a little bit. We just want to paint. So we're just trying to kind of get to painting. And I'm just doing this in front of everybody here. So that's good enough, right? That's my little, and make sure you have the back, something about the background or the ground in there. If there's nothing like showing the ground, just like tear a piece of flat paper and lay it. You want some kind of markation that there's a ground to help you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's it, and then you're gonna do the next one. And what's cool when you have the opportunity to do things multiple times, right? Is you could do the next one, maybe try to move it over to the left, or maybe make it bigger, or maybe show more. Just kind of play with. You could, if you liked the cropping, you could decide to try to crop it. So I'm going to crop off the right edge. Now, normally I think in the class I've been doing one brush. I think it's fun to have a couple brushes for this project. Now, what you do, you can only use those three colors, and you have to translate this experience into those three colors. And it's hard. So, but it's also kind of like picking and choosing. So let's say I'm gonna make the whole, I'll make all this blue my, what do you think? I'll make it my middle color.
Mm-hmm. Background, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this blue my middle color. Because what I did, I squinted my eyes and I was like, that blue, it's hard. Like that blue is probably a middle for what I'm looking at. This hole is really dark. There's a little bit of dark here, right? You can see from my example.
Mm.
It looks like more than three colors though.
They get mixed up.
Oh.
Yeah, no, great point. She's like, well, wait, that looks like, because 1, 2, 3, this looks like a fourth.
4.
Yeah, because it starts to break down, which is good.
And that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. I just want to start with like a ground. So I'm going to do my middle, and with this idea also the pre-mixed, because like I said, it's very forgiving. So now I get to kind of practice this whole thing. It's like kind of, so yeah, that's okay. So I'm just kind of, and again, I rest my hand here to get a little bit more control. And I'm just trying to make it so that I can pay attention to that little shape. It's like, yeah, the composition. So you get a second chance to kind of, yeah. And actually, I ended up going back and fixing this one from things I learned in this one. I'm too honest.